All right. Hey YouTube, I'm Lucky, and today I'm bringing you a video on how to improve in PvP fast. A lot of people ask me this question regularly. How do I get better at trials? How do I get better at PvP? How do I get 3 wins, 5 wins, 7 wins, or even flawless for that matter? And so what I want to do is I actually want to give you almost like a curriculum that you can use so that way you can measurably improve and get better inside PvP and Destiny 2, so that way maybe you can get 3 wins, 5 wins, or even flawless one day. And I've seen many people follow this. I give them this advice in the live stream. I wanted to make a formal and official video, that way I can send people to this, because I can't just give a 30-second spiel when I'm live. It's going to be much better for me to make this entire video. So let's start off from the very beginning. All right, if we're going to start and let's say you're very new to PvP, or even if you're very experienced, right? Let's just start with the meta, right? You want to use the strongest weapons and armor in the game, because you have to get good with the easy stuff like shotguns before you can get good with the tough stuff like snipers or fusion rifles, or whatever it may be, right? The weapons that are not the meta are much more difficult to use because they have a higher time to kill. So you want to use the strongest weapons in the game. So the simplest build I'll give you is just throw on a 120 hand cannon. The Sturm is probably one of the easiest ones to find. You can get the Felwinter from the kiosk and you're set. You've got those two, you're good to go. Throw on the mobility boots, right? If we've got Stompies on the Hunter, we got Transversive Steps on the Warlock, and then we've got Dune Marches on the Titan. Throw on the mobility boots. These are going to be the most important ones to use. You're going to want to get used to the fast movement. You're going to want to get used to that playstyle. You don't want to start off crutching weird things like invisibility and Saitan's walls and stuff like that. That's for later on down the line. First, you're just trying to learn how to slay, you're trying to learn how to aim, and you want to run as aggressively as you possibly can, okay? Just throw on the Revenant Stasis if you're on your Hunter. If you're on the other classes, throw on whatever is the meta for those classes, right? Right now, Titan is Stasis as well. Warlock is Stasis isn't bad either, or Dawnblade or Chaos. So keep that in mind. At the time of making this video, these are the meta classes. So once you've put together this build, it's very simple, very easy. You don't have to use this all the time. We're not going to stay using this forever, but this is just an introductory build, something very simple to get used to the mechanics of Destiny 2, PvP, and Crucible, okay? You're going to want high recovery no matter what, though. At the very least, have like 7, 8 recovery. I always rock 100 recovery, but at least 7 or 8. So throw some recovery mods in your armor, and then you're good to go, okay? That is enough. You're good to go. We don't need to go into all the specifics, okay? You don't have to have a perfectly god-rolled armor piece just to jump into Crucible. It doesn't make that big of a difference, I promise you. With just those things alone that I've mentioned right here, you'll do just fine in Crucible. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we have to talk about practice. Practice is what makes someone good at Crucible. You don't become good at anything. If you want to be good at basketball, you play basketball, right? You don't sit on YouTube and watch videos on how to be good at basketball, right? Like, you can watch this video and I'll give you some advice, and you could watch hours worth of videos and they will give you good advice, but you have to put it into practice. And so what I would highly recommend is do like, if you can, it depends on what your schedule is, the best thing would be is like 2 hours a day for 7 days a week would give you so much improvement. And I know not everyone has 14 hours necessarily, but 14 hours doesn't feel like a huge commitment. Let me know in the comment section below if you have that much time to commit. But you will do much better playing 2 hours of PvP for 7 days a week versus playing for 14 hours a day one day and then taking 6 days off. You'll improve so much more with that consistency, because you need to build muscle memory, okay? Whether you're playing with a controller, whether you're playing with mouse and keyboard, there is a lot of muscle memory that goes into Crucible and how to aim and use your weapons effectively. So keep that in mind, that's the type of schedule you're looking for, okay? Along with that, you need to know that everyone that ever got good at Crucible, they got that way because they're very competitive. So most people watching this are probably competitive, or you have a little bit of a competitive spirit. You got to tap into that, and you got to want to get better. And one thing you can do that will really help you is, if you watch this series and do what I'm about to tell you to do, find a friend that watches this as well. Maybe you can find them in the comment section of this video. Maybe you can find them in the LFG on my Discord. Whatever it takes, find a friend, because if you create a fun and friendly competition between you and someone else, it will strive you to do so much better. Like, it'll drive you to want to do better. For example, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to stay in the easier playlists. For example, Control and Clash do not have skill-based matchmaking. You're going to want to stay away from Rumble. You're going to want to stay away from Survival, Elimination, and Trials, and Iron Banner for that matter as well, and private matches. Right now, we're going to focus on Control and Clash, okay? Go into a Control game, go into a Clash game with your friend, hopefully, and have a little fun competition. Who can get more kills? Who can get more eliminations in this game? And when you go in there, what you're trying to do, in my goal, in the curriculum I'm giving you, is try to get around 20 eliminations for 3 games in a row. It's very important to keep that in mind, because one time you can have one good game, or you can play against a bunch of people that really aren't that great, and you can get 20 eliminations. I feel like anyone could probably pull that off. It depends on who you match against, right? You never know who's out there. Could be some brand new light guardians out there. Try to win 3 games in a row with 20 eliminations or more, and maybe you don't even win the games because obviously, match lobby balancing can be brutal, but at least get 20 eliminations for 3 games in a row in Control or Clash, right? You and your friend can have a fun competition in doing so, and I think that's a great starting point. Now, that might take you a while to do, okay? Let's say you're playing against, like the curriculum I said, 2 hours a day, 7 days a week, so that way you can optimize your time. Maybe you have more time. Maybe you can play 3 hours a day, 7 days a week. Maybe you can only play for 4 days and play for 2 hours that time. That's fine. Don't stress it. Play as much as you can, as much as you're comfortable, as much as your schedule allows. Okay, you will improve even if you can't do that exact time frame, right? It might take you a week. It may take you 2 weeks. It may take you a month, but that's okay. This is the appropriate starting point. And I think that's something that a lot of people are missing, is that they don't start off building the foundation of how to be a good Crucible player. And so when they go into trials, they just get absolutely fucking stomped. And they're just like, what is this? This is bullshit. It's like hitting a brick wall. And it's the same thing. Like, you need that practice. You have to build that foundation. You have to understand the mechanics of the game. You have to learn how to, use a mouse and keyboard, use the thumbsticks on a controller, strafe peek with a hand cannon, when to slide and shotgun. You have to learn timing and learn maps, like where the maps are at, how to use the radar, look at the radar. You have to learn that. And you'll only get that experience from playing and putting in the time. You have to put in the time, okay? There's an expression like, when you've put in 10,000 hours, you've mastered your craft, right? That's the same thing with this. Like, you don't need 10,000 hours to be able to go flawless in trials, but the same principles apply, okay? You need time, and with that time comes mastery, okay? So start off with Control and Clash. Try to hit 3 games of 20 eliminations in a row. After that, then next you're going to go to Rumble, and you're going to try and win. After you've accomplished that, say you do that one day, you actually win 3 games in a row, like, cool, time to move on to the next step. The next step is go into Rumble and try and win 3 Rumble games in a row. If you can win 3 Rumble games in a row, you're doing pretty good, okay? Your individual play is doing well. You're obviously understanding maps, and you're starting to get your mechanics down pretty solid. Winning 3 Rumble games in a row is no laughing matter. It can be definitely tough to do this. So this might take you, again, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Who knows how long it will take you, but it is the right place to start. Start here with the 20 eliminations, move to here. The next thing up is you're going to go to a private match, and hopefully that friend that you were playing with back in Control, and people that you meet along the way, try to make some friends with people that, if someone drops like a 50 bomb in Control, maybe send them a friend request and be like, wow, dude, you killed it. That was crazy. Like, you were really tough to play against. A lot of good players can be very friendly. There can be some toxic ones too, but maybe you make some friends along the way. And it's going to be very important to make friends, because you need a fire team to go into trials, right? So try to make some friends along the way and go into the private match and 1v1 some of your friends. And I know it might feel weird, like challenging my friends to a 1v1. It's friendly, non-hostile, non-egotistical 1v1s is very, very good. And this will sharpen your skills to such a better degree, because Rumble can be very shotgun ape heavy, And what you can do at a private match is you can say 1v1 primaries only, Let's just do primaries only. We don't have to run around and try and ape each other with the Felinters. And you will gain a lot from this. I mean, you will gain a ton of skill from this. You'll understand. You might get mopped at first, but you will learn so much from this. This will help you tremendously. And then the next thing you're going to want to do after you do that is you're going to go into survival. You're going to hopefully put together a team of 3. If not, you can go into solo queue, and maybe you can work your way up to 5,500. It's not easy, but if you can do that, you have definitely accomplished some big stuff, okay? The comp playlist is not nearly as tough as Trials is now, and there's not as much good loot there, so you're mostly just doing it for experience and for, the bravado of saying, yeah, I did it. I got 5,500. Maybe you did it solo queue, maybe you had a fire team of 3, whatever it took, you got it done, and that's impressive if you can do it. If you can't do it, don't stress it, because right now there can be, cheaters and all sorts of crazy stuff in there, and it can be a bit demotivating, but at least put in some time with comp and understand how those mechanics work, right? From that point on, the next thing you want to do is the day before trials, try to put together a team, an LFG team, if necessary, or friends, hopefully some friends that you made along the way when you were playing Control or Clash, maybe some beasts you ran into in Rumble, some of the people you 1v1, hopefully you were nice and friendly to them in those 1v1s and weren't teabagging them. Then maybe you have some friends from those 1v1s, and now you put together a team the day before trials and do some elimination, because this is the same exact playlist as trials. It's the exact same playlist, except this one is skill-based matchmaking. So every game is going to feel like a lighthouse game, ideally speaking. It's going to be a tough match in elimination. And that's the practice you need. You need that lighthouse game practice because those games are the toughest ones. It's very, very hard to get up to those games, especially if you're less experienced in Crucible. But this is where you're going to really sharpen and hone your skills, and you and your team will work together. You'll have callouts, you'll have teamwork, and you'll build that chemistry that you'll need. On Thursdays, I would say ideally is the best day. And then on Fridays, you can go into trials if you have that time, or you can go on Saturdays, Sundays. It doesn't necessarily matter what day you go on, but put in some time with elimination on the non-trials days, or even on the trials days if you have to, because it will improve and will help you. Okay. Once you've done that, once you've practiced Control, Clash, and you've even done, maybe if Iron Banner's out, you can do some of that. You've got your Rumble down, you've got some 1v1s down, you staked it out in comp, you battled it out in comp rather, against the cheaters and recov teams and everything else. Then you went into elimination, you sweated it out in skill-based matchmaking. You are now a seasoned Crucible player, whether you believe it or not. This has taken you weeks of time to do this. At the very least, it's taken you weeks of time. And if it didn't, then you're already probably pretty good and you can already probably get pretty close to Lighthouse. Then you're ready to go into trials. Go in with your team. Go over the callouts. Go over the map rotations. Try to focus on working together and teamwork. And I promise you, you'll at least find more success than you did before you started doing all of this, okay? I can almost guarantee you that, because working and putting in the time is how you get really, really good at the game. No, there's no secret recipe or formula. You can't just find some secret hidden knowledge or some secret hidden video out there on YouTube that's going to give you all the knowledge you need and then suddenly go flawless. It truly is time put in. So try to follow this curriculum. If you need to, come back to this video and watch it through again, and hopefully you can follow through with it. And if you do ever get your first flawless watching this video, please post that comment down below letting me know, or tag me on Twitter and let me know that you got your first flawless. I love to hear those stories. It's happened countless times. I've given people good advice and they were able to get their first ever flawless, and it makes me happy. It warms my heart. I'm happy to help you all. If you have any other questions, feel free to post them in the comment section below of this video. And that's a wrap for this one though. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed and smash the like button. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Later.